Just giving a 1 year update from last year's video. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description below. So if you remember from last year, I had a pot with some bamboo right at the front here. I've now got a purchased a wine barrel and gave a bit of a sand and a varnish. Jen's mum, Catalina, grew an avocado from seed, so I've planted that in here. It seems to be really liking it. I've just got some mushroom compost. It's probably doubled in size since I've put it in there. The bamboo is still doing well. It's thickened up a little bit. It seems to like the new spot as well. Let's head on through to the backyard. Got a nice big lime tree. Plum tree. It's looking good. Did you catch an ant, Anna? What sort of ant is it? It's a nice little one, isn't it? You going to let it go? Yeah, so we have a plum tree. Yes, Anna?
I squished it to caught it.
Oh, that's no good. That's okay, Anna. And on the plum tree we have a heap of plums. I suppose not as many as I'd want. Not enough really to make jam with this year, like previous years, but still enough to eat. The lime tree still has a heap of limes on it. They blend right in, but it always has nice limes. I generally just pick them off the ground as they fall. We have the lemon tree. If you remember last year, I was talking about how it got too many lemons and the trunk split in half. I did some repairs on the trunk. Seems to have mended back together really well. Had probably 20 decent lemons off it. I just picked them. Some new buds coming out now. We've got all the magnolias across the back fence. They're really shot up lately. I've stopped picking the flowers off them, so you might notice the odd one starting to come out. The bees seem to be really enjoying them. I've got a little 4-frame nuke at the moment. Just letting it establish, and then I'll pass that on to someone who wants some bees. The orange tree is still struggling a bit. I ended up having to cut quite a few limbs off it, but it's got new sprouts all the way over it, so it should recover fairly well. But obviously no oranges.
Daddy, this is for you.
Oh, thanks, Anna. It's a nice flower.
I took it in the wagon.
When I was little, my grandparents had a little farm, and I remember going there. There's always a gumboot rack, so I tried to copy it and make my own version of the gumboot rack. Got the wood off Albi at work, and just some old broom handles, stuck them in, but it works well for keeping your gumboots dry, and the spiders out of them, they seem to stay away from them. I've got the nectarine tree. It come out in curly leaf again this year, so on top of spraying it with copper spray, I've embedded some copper pipe into the ground at the trunk. That seems to have done the trick this time. Well, I thought that last year. My kiwi fruit vine, the male and female have finally collided. The front section here is where they're both intertwined, and I've got little kiwi fruit. It's hard to spot, but there's probably 4 or 5 of them in there. As you look around, you see them hanging everywhere. There's some more. Yeah, so hopefully they mature and we have some good kiwi fruit. Like I said, it's only on the front. The side here, they haven't intertwined, so they haven't cross-pollinated. I suppose I could rub the flowers together and cross-pollinate myself, but I'll just let nature take its course. The mud kitchen's had an upgrade. So my mate Canadian Jay, he updated his kitchen. So I got his old sink. Actually, I don't know if it's his sink or it might be my mum's old sink. They both gave me a sink. I just put a little steel frame together and hooked the tap up to the tap, I guess. So yeah, the problem is the kids know how to hook it up, as you can see. Got the vegetable garden, got a heap of tomatoes in here. I made friends with my neighbour across the road, Graham. He's right into his produce, so he's given me a heap of tomatoes, heaps of big Malaccas and a heap of cherry tomatoes. So I staggered planting them. The front ones are obviously first, that's where all the big Malaccas are, and cherries, and then a heap of just other tomatoes he gave me a few weeks later, which is good because they're all at different stages, so should space out when they're all ripe. Both worm farms are still going fine. I won't open them up this year, but they're plotting along. The strawberries are all out again, still not in their prime. Last year it was about this time of year and we'd come out and get a bowl for every day. Probably getting that about a week at the moment, but it's still better than buying strawberries. The apple tree, I've had to attack that, give it a big prune, but it seems to have really enjoyed it, so we might actually get apples off it for the first time. Still got the bees, the main hive. I think that hive will go forever. And the new addition are the chickens. I made this coop for the chickens. We started off with 4 chickens. 3 of the 4 ended up roosters, so we had to get rid of 3 of them. This one here, I think it's a Rhode Island Red. That was one of the only original one left. She's quite friendly. She likes a bit of a back scratch, and it's a bit warm today, so they're all hiding in the shade. But then we've got speckles and red light in there as well. At the moment, the red one, I think its name's Unicorn. It's the only one laying eggs. I only get 1 egg a day out of the 3 eggs. I'll go in and give you a bit of a look. It's not coming out. So we've got speckles and red light. I just used some 20-litre buckets with some hay in it, and they just climb in there and lay their eggs. I just made a couple of perches for them. I got a high perch that's about 1/2 metre off the ground. They actually jump up there, and once or twice a day I catch one of them sitting on it, and I've just got a long perch down the bottom. Yeah, they seem to enjoy both of them. So come around, we'll just say hi to Anna and make sure she's doing okay. Looks like she's playing with a bit of water. You like your mud kitchen, don't you, Anna? You want me to connect it up properly? And yeah, the kids just love turning the water on and off. Nice day like this, we normally hook it up to the rain tank and put it on the lawn for them. And the grass. The Indian miners have been eating the grass lately. The video probably doesn't show it, but yeah, they've been eating, I think it's the seeds or the roots or something of the grass, so they've been digging holes in it. Another new addition. Got a pot pond made out of a wine barrel. It's a wine pond, I guess. Probably can't see in the water, but it's 25, 30 fish in there. Seems to be doing alright. Everything's grown a bit since last year. Got the olive tree, it's grown probably 50% since this time last year. As we come through, it's just a couple of new additions in the garden. We had 3 or 4 hot days last week. The fern took a real hit, everything browned off, but it will all come back. There's a bit of green on it also, it'll be fine. Monstera is still enjoying where it is. We've got the gumboot rack, another one, really likes it. Jen got a little bonsai for Christmas. She gave it a bit of a prune and it broke out with flowers, which is good. Got the elephant ears, still doing well. Had the couple of cactuses from last year's video were struggling without support. So I've made a couple of supports out of a Rio. yeah, seems to be doing the trick. I've seen that at Botanical Gardens. We have Frangipani. It's got new shoots on it. I don't know how to tell if that's doing right or not. It's still alive, so I guess it's doing good. We've got our kumquat, and yeah, obviously a lot of new trees in there. Another cactus. I'm really enjoying the cactuses. It's nice to see them growing. Another beehive with the mandarin tree behind it, still going strong. Beehive. We really enjoy days like this. New archway. The last archway collapsed. I come home from work and it was laying in a pile. Can't even just say it fell over because it literally just fell down. Every bit seemed to rust through at the same time. So we come through here. We have the cherry tree. You might remember from last year. The cherry tree was just a stick. This spring they come out with new leaves, so hopefully next year, the year after, it doubles in size and it really establishes itself, which would be good. We've got I didn't put it on last year's video, but I fixed up the bench seat out the front here, got rid of the wood and put some plastic planks on it. Just wanted to try the material out. Yeah, hopefully it lasts, no reason it shouldn't. The wood corrodes, plastic obviously doesn't. In the front garden here, you can see in red, I have a piston pump that Dad found in the swamp next door to his house probably 15 years ago. It was rusted and I can't remember what colour it was, but I sandblasted it all back. As a kid I remember painting it multiple colours with my dad, my brother, so I've sandblasted it all back, gave it a nice paint, and now it operates. There we go, goes in and out. The problem we have, I need for it to actually function, I need to replace the shaft. But other than that, the pistons inside were fine. The condition was pretty good, so if I replace that shaft, it should actually pump water. But it's a display piece, so probably not worth the time. At the front here, everything else is doing pretty good. I have a peach tree. Last year that was just a stick as well. I like to really crowd the plants. I don't really like having space in the garden. Got a Mickey Mouse ears. They look quite good. My cousin had one at her last place. Must have been about a metre tall. Looks really nice. And the bay leaf, still quite small, which is good. They're quite slow growing. I'll just give you a quick walk back through the garden, and that's about it. Any comments? Any questions? Just give me a comment below, and hopefully I see it and give a little update if you're curious about anything. Like I said, I'll put a link below for last year's video. You filled it up, Anna? Nice, Anna. What are you going to do with all that water? Hopefully next year's update, the magnolias are another 1/2 metre tall and 1/2 metre wide. It would be nice out here. The lime tree's just had a haircut about a month ago. They all seem to be growing where the two of them are crossed over. Make sure you don't pick them, Anna. You can look at them, but don't pull them off, okay? They look good, don't they? But they're really nice chickens. Generally, whenever I open the gate, they run up and say hello. And yeah, they're pretty friendly. They're happy to have a little pat. This one spreads its wings. It really enjoys it. I'll let him have a bit of a run around the vegetable garden while we're walking around. This part of the garden, everything seems to have grown a lot. The olive tree probably grown 50% since last year. Everything seems to be doing really well. Got a little piston pump. Dad found it in the swamplands next door to his old house. So I've pulled it apart. I gave it a bit of a sandblast. But
That cat food for the cat.
what's that for, Owen?
And for the cat.
For the neighbour's cat?
Yeah.
Yeah,